What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube with another edition of The Drive-In, where I review recently released movies and tell you guys whether they're worth watching, worth waiting for, or worth skipping altogether. Today I've got another 2020 film for you guys that stuck with me a little bit, and it is a Netflix release. Thankfully, we are getting a lot of solid horror here at the end of 2020. It started off a little slow, and then of course we've had the shutdown and stuff like that. But with all the different streaming services now releasing their different movies, we're starting to get some pretty solid horror here in 2020, and I'm getting a nice top 10 list amassed. And this one, by the end of the year, just might be on it. It is in the bottom half of my top 10, but I think overall it's very solid. It is one that a lot of hardcore horror fans are stating is staying with them. Some other fans are missing it because of where it's listed on Netflix, but I think it is worth checking out. I'm talking about 2020's His House. It is a Netflix release from 2020. And overall, I think it's pretty solid. I'm going to get right into the cast and crew here, and you guys tell me what you think of this film. It is written and directed by Remi Weekes, starring Wunmi Masaku and Sope Derizu, and I hope that I'm not butchering those names. I apologize if I am. Who star as Rial and Bol. They are a South Sudan refugee couple who are escaping their dangerous country, trying not to die, jumping basically on a bus to get to a boat to get to this country, to try and start a new life in America where they are safe from threats of destruction, terrorism, violence, all the things around them. They come to America and they are put into a program where they are forced to live in a house, and they're told, you can live here, but you have to stay in this house and follow our guidelines. You can't move anywhere else. And the house winds up being a little more traumatic and terrorized than they expect. So they have, in order to stay in this country and get opportunities to live and be safe away from South Sudan, they have to undergo staying in this house, which winds up being a bit rough. It runs for an hour and 33 minutes total, which comes to just under an hour and a half plus credits. So it's a pretty short runtime, and it's paced pretty well. I gotta say, Remi Weekes, this is his first feature film debut. I think he's done 2 shorts in the past, and also a TV series episode, I believe. It's the first time of his doing a feature film, and you can really see a lot of passion. You can see a lot of love for the horror genre. I would not necessarily consider this, at least at the beginning, straight horror. I think it starts more as a tense thriller, and as the film goes on, it breaks down more and more into psychological thriller, which, if done right, is really solid, and I think this one is done right. For the most part, this film, it's acted really well. I really enjoyed the 2 characters. It is essentially there's some other surrounding environments and things like that. We see Wunmi Masaku and Sope Derizu trying to acclimate to America, trying to fit in with the current culture, trying to get along in a time where there's a lot of racial tension, a lot of cultural differences, and showing them trying to fit in. So there's a lot of drama aspects and character aspects woven into this tense horror, which I really enjoy. The characters of Rial and Bol are great because, again, the tension is high from the beginning. They are stuck in this untenable situation where they're moving into a house that presumably seems haunted very early on. You don't quite know what's going on just yet. And I will do this thing spoiler-free at the beginning. I'll give my spoilers at the very end. So spoiler-free for those of you guys that have not seen it yet. They start off just kind of trying to get along, and of course they're facing rough circumstances because they either stay in this presumably haunted house in a neighborhood full of a bunch of people that are possibly racist and not getting along with them, so they've got threats from the outside, threats from the inside, or they have to sacrifice this and move back home to a place where their brothers and sisters in South Sudan are getting murdered violently every day. So it's kind of a lose-lose for them. They've got to make some tough choices, and you start to see a bit of a slow descent into some psychological thriller stuff, which is really nice. It's shot pretty well. It looks pretty authentic. The acting of Wunmi and Sope, and again, I hope I'm not messing up those names, is really solid. For being ostensibly kind of a one background, one location, 2 character movie, there are a few other things woven in, but for being 1 location and 2 characters, this could have almost been shot during the pandemic era. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying pandemic on YouTube. I know they don't like that word. But they could have easily shot this during the quarantine time. Really liking the background they used, the house they chose. is very, it's in the slums. It is torn up. It is cockroach infested. It is dirty and broken. And they've got to kind of band together to make the house their own. They use a great location for this. It just looks disgusting and seedy and dangerous. And it gives you the feel that a ghost presence would inhabit this place, just like a rat or a roach or something else would. It gives you the feeling that evil was welcomed inside. And again, Wunmi and Sope have reasons to want to stay in this house and want to make it. It really tests the strength of their character to try and hold off these forces. Now, that's about all I can say without giving too much away, because the plot of this movie and the deterioration of the characters does depend on the twists that happen toward the end, which I will not give away here, being a 2020 release. But I will say again, well shot, great location, well acted, and very good sound design. In a quiet, kind of a slow burn thriller, which this kind of is. I wouldn't say it's like A24 slow, but I would say it's kind of maybe like IFC film slow, or there's kind of that differentiation. It is a slow burn, but things are happening the entire time. It's not just useless scenes or dragging on. It's a slow burn, but you're getting a lot of jump scares, you're getting a lot of backstory, and you're getting character building while it's happening. So they're not wasting scenes, and the slow burn isn't too slow per se. But in a film like that, you really want solid sound design. You want to feel like the house is a character, and you want to feel like things are building up and swelling up behind you as you watch, so you're holding onto your blanket, so that it's not just meaningless jump scares. And I think this does that to a T. The sound design in this is a show stealer, and the house is a great character to go with our two main characters that do a great job. So good direction, good writing, good location. I like this all around. I will give you guys the spoiler events in a second, but I'm going to give this film overall a 6.5 out of 10. I would say until the final act, until the last 20 minutes, I had this in the 5 range, 5 out of 10. I would say it's an average fun jump scare film that's solid background, solid characters, but nothing special until the last 20 minutes. Once you get to the last 20 minutes, it goes from a 5 out of 10 for me to a 6.5 out of 10 for me, and that's what puts it into my top 10 horror films for the year. So stick around. If you're not sure about this and it's a little too slow for you, I would say it's worth holding on for the last 20 minutes, because that big unveil at the end brings it all together and makes it all much better. As you piece the events together, it holds everything tighter and makes it worth your watch. So if you're not sure about this halfway through, stick it out. The hour and a half is worth it. The last 20 minutes make it what it is. 6.5 out of 10. So if you guys have not seen it yet and you don't want to get spoilers, this is the end of the review. For those of you guys that want the spoilers, here come the spoilers. It winds up that Rial the whole time is seeing, she has kind of a connection to magic. She's seeing evil spirits, and the spirits are latching on to her and latching on to the house, and we're not quite sure why. The whole time, Rial is like, there's something dark in here, it's holding on to us. And it comes to find out kind of that Bol is trying so hard to fit in that he's becoming like the outsiders, like the racist outside that he's trying to fit in with. So you've got the native kind of against the locals, in Rial against Bol toward the end as they break down psychologically and start seeing these ghosts. We come to find out that Rial is seeing the ghosts because they're attached and trying to get revenge for Bol. What Bol did basically, they show a flashback when they're trying to get onto the bus to get to the boat to survive. You see early on in the film they have a daughter that has drowned. So they've lost a daughter, so it brings out more emotion for the characters. Rial and Bol have lost a daughter. Toward the end of the film, you go back and you find out that Rial and Bol's lost daughter was not their own. They were letting on refugees onto the bus to get out of South Sudan for people that had, pregnant ladies, people with children, stuff like that. They were taking special cases, and the bus was getting too full. So Bol realized they wouldn't get on without a child, so he took somebody else's child and pretended they were his to get onto this bus. So Rial and Bol get onto this bus with their child that is not actually theirs. Another mother loses her child. She's trying to get through the crowd to get to her child. The child is on the bus, taken away from her mother, just so Rial and Bol can get to America. So Bol kidnaps this child. The child eventually dies on the boat, drowns in the river, and so they've stolen this woman's child who's now died. So Bol, being the evil one that did it, is being seen for being a bad guy, and Real is the one that's seeing the ghost. So the ghost basically needs Bull to get sacrificed to get revenge for the child and the child's family. So Bull does stab himself as a sacrifice, and the ghost kind of stays with them but kind of gets off their back. The ghost kind of dies as Bull stabs himself. Bull does survive in the end, and Real and Bull decide they kind of want to stay in America in this house now that they've kind of paid for their sins. It was almost a life for a life. I don't know if I agree with Bull surviving. I think Bull should have probably, since he was turning evil toward the end, getting aggressive, getting mean, and Real was trying to survive, and the ghost was making her see her natives. I don't know if I agree with the idea of them staying in America with Bull surviving and not being killed, but he does get stabbed and sheds his blood for the sin of the kidnapped child, so they do pay for their sins and decide to stay now that the ghosts attached to the house kind of have gone away. So, not entirely sure about how I would have ended it, but the writing is superb. The kidnapped child makes the ghost make sense, and why the ghosts are haunting Bull, and why Bull's getting worse as time goes on and Real's getting better, and you're seeing the good versus evil in the house and the dynamics of all the tension. I love how it comes together. I love the character study. I love the backstory. And again, the last 20 minutes really makes the rest of the film much more than just a regular jump scare film. 6.5 out of 10. Tell me in the comments below if you've seen it, what you do think, what other films you would like me to review on this channel, and for other football, wrestling, film reviews, my poetry, my films, stuff like that. Please subscribe, please like this video, and comment below to bump things up and keep my channel going. I really need your support. I'm a very small channel, and I really thrive on your guys' support. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys soon.